Ain't I a woman? When asked to speak, I get rather nervous. With my only parameter Women's History Month, I soon realized this topic challenged me in a way it had never before. Women's History Month? In my head, I could hear the illustrious Maya Angelou asking one of her famed questions, Ain't I a woman? Yes, I am a woman, but if only you knew my story, you may understand why this was slightly difficult. At the age of 28, I went from the height of my femininity after coming up a mild tomboy to achieving my goals in weight loss, skincare, pursuing my dream career, co leading a young women's ministry, and overcoming many of the obstacles those who knew me growing up may not have been certain I would surpass, to my entire world being turned upside down. The one thing that sticks out is control. Despite the closeness in my relationship with God, it has always been difficult handing over the keys to my heart, especially once I realized He'd given them to me. I trusted God, but I would become so fixated on my goals there was little anyone could do to stop me. Whereas I was once stuck in the past, I then went to being stuck on my future, fantasizing, as friends would say, on every little detail. The problem was letting go and letting God do what He does. I became this beautiful woman with a platform to inspire, but I fell completely from grace. For 7 years, the girl with all that crazy faith had fallen silent. My true spirit no longer there, and all I had was my family. Within that time, an extreme event occurred, and I went from a life of full mobility to limited, which was actually a blessing considering the circumstances. This was one of the most intense experiences my family and I, as well as those who cared about me, had ever gone through. For me, it involved a tremendous amount of pain, fear, and isolation. I had no other choice than to find a new norm after learning to walk again. I adjusted to living a much slower life, and for the longest time, a life full of doctor's care. This is why the question resounds, ain't I a woman? I know I'm female, but to lose credibility when you were once so respected, reconnecting when you withdrew yourself from everyone, then having those tough conversations with friends who simply couldn't make sense of everything that had happened. The woman I am today is not the woman I had been fighting my entire life to become. People never had to make accommodations for me. I didn't require them. If anything, I had the big heart and sought to take care of everyone else. This situation quickly forced me to switch it up, to lay or rather throw aside my pride, and not for the moment, but to rest it there. Now I fight to bring back my former grace, poise, and beauty, muscle memory mixed with motivation. I don't consider myself unlearned because I remember so much of what I experienced. But no one simply does everything they recall. Think about it. Back then, I believed that my life, my independence, my respect, my name, my best years, my relationships, and my dreams had all been taken from me. After so many years of being devastated, I let it go. I stopped fighting. Honestly, I stopped caring. I accepted whatever was going on was beyond my control and I simply chose to exist. I believed that this would be my end. Yet one day, what had taken hold of me, the very thing that left me spiritless and with every attempt in my being I tried to shake, let me go. So now I say -7 plus eternity. It represents what I lost in some ways, but more so what I hope I gain. I used to state when I spoke that control's an illusion. Now I don't speak from the shallow end, but the deep. Whereas before I was Miss Independent, I've now accepted that I can't do life alone. It's not easy to fathom going from being a runner to realizing you will likely never run again. But the same way I learned to be a runner, I'm now learning what independence looks like again. Reclaiming some of my past and finding joy in this new life. It's humbling. It's work. It gets frustrating at times, but it also has rewards. You don't ask, but people tend to be kinder. You're easier on yourself than times past. Your closest circle cares, but they don't buy in completely to the stereotypes once they realize you're still quite capable. Life is a learning process for everyone involved. I know some may say God would never allow that to happen to someone. Yeah, I know the transformation my life took was within his awareness. I asked God to use me. I told him I would be the one. And I prayed my wildest dreams. That doesn't mean that I'm happy about all this happened, but I found my peace. As my mom would say, I still have life, health, and strength. Many of the things that used to have a hold on me don't carry the same weight. I've grown in wisdom, and despite what it may look like, it's a freer, simpler, good life. So while developing this new norm was one thing, making sense of Ain't I a Woman was another. Again, yes, I know that I am, but what does being a woman mean now? I was recently in somewhat of a serious relationship that didn't work out, but I wasn't devastated. It took adjusting, but I learned that my heart still worked and it wasn't as fragile as I thought it'd become. One may say, man, what a series of unfortunate events. I thought I was a tough cookie before, but after all that I've gone through, I recognize that we as a people are not easily broken. This next portion is for the ladies listening. We are women. And it shouldn't take for tragedy to strike for us to realize or to see life from a fresh perspective. I encourage you to take that pause, that break, that moment you've been desperately needing but haven't. Sometimes life can be moving so fast and so consistent that we don't have time to put things in proper perspective. The things that really matter suffer because the things that don't have taken all of our time, energy, and effort. As women, it's easy to lose faith when we don't surround ourselves with the things that remind us of our worth, our purpose, and by those who truly see the light within us. We need to shake ourselves up so that we don't have to be shaken. Do that uncomfortable thing you've been feeling in your spirit you should do. Ask those questions. Have those conversations because beyond those moments is a freedom you've yet to experience, and you won't if you don't. Women, we are phenomenal. However, it's not what we're called, but what we answer to. So now as I hear the question, ain't I a woman? I'm striving not to second guess what that means and know that regardless of my circumstances, I'm still worthy of the call. Still strong, still brave, still ambitious, and still enough. The limitations that I allow to consume my mind only exist within a narrow perspective. As long as you have breath in your body, know that your it is still possible. Life has shown me that one's voice and story are ever present in a body subject to time. Wherein I used to have a dream for every day, my long term plan is much more simple. This is taking some of the pressure away. Balance is everything. Trying to stay grounded and focused on the here and now, not stuck on what happened or what I want to come. I trust God has me, and if He has me in all my crazy, He surely has you. When you are secure in who you are, in the relationship with whose you are, saying hello gorgeous to the woman next to you or hello beautiful to yourself, isn't that hard? If you're already there, cherish it. If you're working toward it, keep pressing forward. Or if you're men in a more fragile state, cling to your hope. It's coming. This is where my heart went when I got the call about today. So, as we bring Women's History Month to a close, know that your story is living history, told or untold. But when you feel the urge to share, please do so because there's someone who needs it more than you. Thank you.